Welcome to ZBTR TV.
The goal is to unearth and document the Zambian narrative in the best way possible.
Catch us live every Saturday on Facebook and YouTube.
We broadcast every Saturday at 10 a.m. EST, 7 a.m. PT.
With a growing audience across the globe, we connect Zambians and share resources abroad.
Be part of our journey. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
With a growing audience across the globe, we connect Zambians and share resources abroad.
The ZBTR TV show.
Did you know? Less than 10% of our viewers are subscribed. Don't miss out. Be part of the community. Mark your calendars. Every Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time and 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Flow live.
Welcome to the show. Hello. Welcome to the show. Hi, Muhambi. I like your smile.
Thank you very much, Pastor.
How are you doing? Everybody, today you have the two of us together, so you can be assured that this is going to be an exciting. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been great.
I've
School's
been
over,
all right.
so I'm
Now,
happy.
since you are here, I just want to say that I greatly appreciate you stepping in when I went for my father's funeral. I know 3 weeks in a row you did it. Can you believe that?
It was great. It was good.
Yeah,
It's a little tough, so I don't know how you do it every Saturday.
It's a tough job. It's a tough job. Okay, it's June the 6th, and you all know this is election year. Zambia decides 2026, and today we felt like we should engage youth. Like I noticed in one of your questions, Mohambi, you've said the youth comprise, I don't know exactly what percentage, maybe our guest can help us with this information. The youth comprise a greater component of Zambia's population, and yet their engagement is not proportionate to the number that they are. So we have a great conversation today, and we want to engage the youth. And this is a young gentleman who is engaged at a very high level. Welcome to the show. Tell your friends ZBTR TV is live. You guys need to subscribe. Come on, take us to 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. And let's do that. Tell your friends ZBTR TV is live. And we are on, and we have an amazing guest. Let's get on with it, Muhambi. Can you please introduce our guest today?
Sure. We have a very special guest today who, as you said, Pastor, has engaged at the highest levels. He is a civic leader who has really made an impact. We were saying backstage we had wanted him to come in January, so we're very happy that he has obliged to come today. Mr. Kambele Joseph serves as the National Youth and Student Spokesperson for the Tonse Alliance, among many other things. So he is a very active student leader, and he is a very busy guy. But we're very grateful, Mr. President, that you've decided to come and talk to us today. And so we're very, very grateful. Happy that we finally did it. Almost 7 months in the making. So thank you.
Welcome, Joseph. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Thank you very much, Comrade Musonda, for sending an invitation to me. Indeed, the last time I was supposed to meet, I think it's been some months. Yeah, but I'm glad that I'm here today. I think I hope we're going to have a great conversation.
You're a very busy person, like Mohambi has said. And let me begin by asking you this question. Universities and colleges, campuses have always been politically charged through the decades. I'm sure, I know you are young, but I'm sure when you look back at your history, you can tell that from way back in the one-party state of UNIP, youths and college campuses in Zambia have always been politically charged. How would you describe this year's elections from a student's perspective?
Well, this year is quite special, I should say, in the sense that we don't have so much space within the university places. However, we were able to see how these young people are coming through our social media platform, because that's the only way that we're having in touch with our friends that are in university. Yeah, so currently, when you go to most universities, it's very difficult for opposition leaders to actually set up structures there, because I think most of the doors are closed due to yeah. So we still are finding ways in which we are able to interact with them through social media platforms such as WhatsApp. And it's just amazing how these people, like fellow students, really want to participate, but they are scared. So indeed, this year is going to be special, and yeah, it's special.
I like that. Muhammad, you can tell that he's trying to be very careful, right?
He's trying to be very careful. I appreciate that,
He's
Mr.
trying
President.
to be very careful with what do you call it? The cyber laws.
Cyber laws.
Joseph, before Muhammad comes in, before I hand over this to Muhammad, you've said it's going to be very special. I can tell that you have a lot to say, and yet you are still holding back on that that much that you want to say. Here is one observation I've made. Okay. Over the years, student bodies tend to be anti-government of the day. All right. However, this year we've witnessed a unique situation where the Unzasu leadership has openly aligned itself with the government of the day, UPND. I'm talking about Unzasu president and the one Unzasu vice president, the young lady who's very vibrant. I just forget her name. Somebody in the comments can help us. Pardon?
Jemima
Mwaba, yes. Okay. They have openly, there's nothing wrong with that. Personally, like I was telling you, everybody, I was telling Joseph here that choosing a political affiliation is your democratic right. It's a constitutional right. So how did this affect student politics as we know it in Zambia? Your colleagues openly aligning with the UPND government. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think, if my memory serves me right, we have ever seen anything like this before. How did this affect politics amongst the students?
Indeed, when you have the top leadership aligning themselves with a particular political party, it affects even the welfare of students. Because the reason as to why student unions are there, they're supposed to be non-partisan. It should be there to stand with students so that they're able to express the interest of students to those that are in authority in government and everything. But now, the trend that has happened, especially under the UPND government,
yes,
we have seen that these young leaders, they are mostly supported, during campaigns, they're supported by these particular political parties. Hence, when they get into office, it becomes very difficult for them to operate independently. Hence, they end up supporting the ruling party. And that now also affects other political groupings that want to interact with students. Because now we have someone who has interest, like they are already politically inclined. So they wouldn't allow somebody who is opposing them to go into campus and have a chat with students based on the things that they're experiencing. The same thing is happening in mostly all the institutions in this country. Talk about CB, talk about NEPA. When you look at these top leaders, the student union presidents in these institutions, They are all lines to UPND, and we see them waiting on secretariat. They go there, and it's very difficult now because when you're interacting with students, to say, "I want to see you," they are scared. They're scared to come out to say, no, if they see me, it won't be well with me. Now you can now look at the political environments that the UPND government has created. There's so much fear among students, and we are telling them to say it's just a matter of time. Hope is just at the horizon.
Mr. President, you have a very influential position. I saw on your Facebook page, I think a few weeks ago, where you actually met Mr. Mungubile at an event, and you're chosen now as the national spokesperson for the youth. Very simple question is, why do you believe that this election is particularly important for young people? I think you already articulated that, but well, I mean, why this election? Is there a wind of change that you sense among the youth that you're talking to?
Indeed. So, first thing before I even answer that question, maybe I would love to help our viewers understand that Zambia's demographic population, about 60% is the youth, right?
60%?
65%.
Wow.
65%.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the youth population. And then when you look at the certified voter register, you discover that the total number of registered voters is 8,000 plus, and 4,000 of that number, 4 million, no, 8 million, 8 million. Then half of that number, about 4 million, are the youths, and this is when now this gets interesting. And we are very confident, especially us in the opposition, especially Ton's Alliance, and looking at the facts that the UPND government, they came into office through the vote of the youth. It was the youth that put the UPND government into office. And that was at the promise that Bali is going to fix the unemployment issues that we are facing in the country, the load shedding that we are experiencing at the time, where the president was on record to say the reason as to why we have load shedding in this country is because we have poor leadership. And we have countries like Dubai, which is built on a desert, but it has power throughout. So President Church promised us that when he comes into power, he's going to ensure that there is power throughout. And as young people who are into different businesses that most uses energy, we're like, this is the right man to put into office. So on that basis, we gave him the vote. Not only that, he promised us to say there's too much high cost of living. At that particular time, I think during PF 2021, the GDP per capita was about 7,000 to 8,000 kwacha. But now the cost of living has skyrocketed to somewhere 11,500 plus. So a lot of things were promised to us, which the UPND government haven't fulfilled. Instead of him delivering on the employment he gave us, they have got us in Misepera app, where there's nothing happening on that particular app. So we are very disappointed. I, for one, was one of the people that were in the forefront to actually ensure that there was a regime change. But I am disappointed equally, just like many other young people out there. And therefore, we want somebody who has the interest for young people, who is very truthful and means what they say. So, looking at the wind of change, I think we are able to see what is happening in different parts of the country. We're able to see what is happening on social media platforms. It's always Brian Mundwile and Makebi Zulu leading. And that gives us hope that come 13th August, we are going to kick out the UPND from power.
My next question, and it sort of is aligned with what we've been talking about, is what would you say to students who believe that politics has very little impact on their daily lives?
Well, my dear brothers and sisters in all our learning institutions, and even just young people, let me not just restrict it to students, but even young people out there, because most of the time we hear youths and students saying that I am non-partisan. Yes, it is important you can be non-partisan, but you need to understand what is being non-partisan. Non-partisan don't just belong to a political party. But what you must understand is that politics is what rule the world. All right. Everything that you do is determined by politics, and therefore, if you stay out from politics, you are just inviting problems. You end up allowing people that are not qualified to choose right leaders to actually choose on your behalf, and therefore, it is very important as young people to take interest into the affairs of our nation, and just so, yes, we are forgetting. Uh, these old folks that we have today, they are going. And if we don't get into the ring and be at the table where decisions are being made, because we always say that there's nothing for us without us. So if we are not at the table to speak for interest, meaning that the old people, they're going to decide on our behalf, and those people, they don't even know the issues that we are facing, and it's going to affect us in the long run. And therefore, it is important that we get vested into politics. We need to understand what is going on, and so that we choose the right leaders that can transform our lives, that can also secure our future.
I just want to press you on one point. When your last point, when you talked about how it's important for leaders to know, or what youth are dealing with and engaging with. I know President Mundubile had, I think, comments made. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, where he said that and I'm paraphrasing, I don't have any plans, and please tell me if I'm wrong. I don't have any plans for young people. I'll let them, figure out for themselves or something like that. What would you say to, what's your response to that comment? And is that, I don't want to say it is, if it is an indictment, but what's your response? Shouldn't a leader already have, plans for, the young people? I mean, has he engaged with, young people, in the area, or what's just your response to that comment? I know it caught traction on social media.
Yeah. If you follow what President Mundube said, he didn't say that they didn't have a plan for the young people. No, no, no. He said, I'm going to be like a big brother, the big day. That's what he said. I'm not a person that is going to be just telling people to say, oh, young people, they are there. No, 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 no. He wants to bring us close. That's the reason why, if you have checked, his administration mantra is Nakulumutinta Nemisepera Pamakasa, meaning that is bring the young people and the women from the margins of society to the center of policy and economic transformation. So what he's saying is that, what he meant is that with the young people, we know the challenges that we are facing, and we have the solutions to those challenges. So him as a president is going to give us a platform, is going to come in with capacity, so that we we bring we bring into action the dreams and aspirations that we have for this country. For instance, we have a lot of young people that are very innovative. We have a lot of people that are very creative, So when you talk about young people who are into the creative industry, I said, if we check into our manifesto, we are saying that we are going to introduce digital economy. So digital economy, this is where now we are talking about, everything is now online. We're talking about transaction marketing, online marketing. We're talking about content creation. We're talking about social media. Now, young people, especially those that are into creative industry, they've been trying to say, we want social media platform to be monetized in Zambia. So he's saying that we are coming in with capacity. We are going to monetize social media platform, and this is not something that is going to take us maybe 2 years now. Once we get into government, 12 months down the line, we need to have social media platforms being monetized, so that our young people, those that are into creative industries, are able to make something. And not only that, we are saying that once we make this digital economy and economic sector, we are going to look at some incentives that is going to help the young people. Remember, he said, "I'm your big brother." So what he's saying is looking at the bigger picture. For instance, I'm a content creator. Like what is happening currently? If you're coming from America, you have bought maybe a small mic. By the airport there, they ask you to pay duty for that small stuff. So we are saying that those equipments, they are going to be zero tax. And then once young people begin to make money through monetization, there's a certain percentage that they'll be paying as tax. So that's how government will be generating money. Instead of you paying for something, for duty, for just a small microphone, you get everything for free. And then when you start making money through social media platforms, then government will be starting tax from there. That's how we want to empower the young people. So that statement has been misinterpreted. But what he actually meant is that I'm your big brother. I'm not going to tell you to say no, this, that, because we might have plans that doesn't resonate with you. That's not why I say we'll bring you close. What idea do you have? What skills do you have? All right. What expertise are you into? Then us as government, we're going to give you now the platform so that now you can flourish, you can prosper. That's what it actually meant.
Okay, excellent. One of the things, Joseph, as a young person, as a spokesperson for what you call it, for the Tonse Alliance, what message does the Alliance have for the young people to go through this electoral process and make it non-violent? Because you see, the political parties use you young people to fight each other, to create chaos. What message does the Alliance have to educate the young people, the students, to go through this electoral process and make it non-violent?
All right. So President Munduvile and President Makebi Zulu, these two are very peaceful people. And if you have seen that from the time that the election started, there has never been anything, maybe from the Tonse Alliance. There's confusion here. What we see is from the ruling party, where the president is. That's why we're experiencing such confusion. The message is very clear. For President Ban Munduvile, he's coming from PF, right? And PF was able to say, oh, this is too much of Qatarism, there's too much confusion in this party. So President Munduvile said, me, I'm different. We need to reset this country. No violence is going to be tolerated from any of our members. If you are found making confusion anywhere, you are expelled from our organization. And that is very clear. That's the reason why I've seen total discipline amongst our members. There's no violence whatsoever. And today you saw President Munduvile and President Makebi Zulu, they were attending first memorial service for President Edgar Chabalungu. As they were coming back, you saw UPND cadres. They're the one that said so stunning our president. Now you can see that level of excellence. This is quite unfortunate for a president, President Ichirema, who actually said that their party is a peaceful party, but seeing that kind of lawlessness is very unfortunate. And we are calling on the president, President, to say, Mr. President, you promised us that you are going to ensure that Zambia is going to be violence-free. But what we're experiencing is opposite of your pronouncement. So we don't know if at all these people, we don't hear you anymore. But because if they don't, then we are also worried what is going to happen beyond 13th August. And we don't see any reason as to why people should entrust you with another vote on 13th August. We are praying that this election be free and fair, also free of violence. It is our prayer that we maintain the peaceful environment that we have enjoyed.
So during the memorial service, there was some violence. There was some UPND cadres that created some violence.
Yes, there was some UPND cadres that said turning the vehicles to where the president was, President Munduvile and the President Makebi Zulu, which is very unfortunate. And you see, that might even end up injuring innocent citizens. And we don't want that to happen in our country. We want these elections to be, to be an example. So this everything is coming from the ruling party, and this is where now the president is like he's the boss, the topmost boss of the UPND. It's just a word when he says that we don't want violence. People should listen. But now it's unfortunate that the same people that is telling that don't do this, they are doing the same thing that is stopping them. Now we are wondering, is it that maybe he's speaking that do not do violence on the cameras, and then behind the curtain they're saying something else? This is unfortunate, and we just hope that this will be corrected. And as we get into the next 60 days, in the 60 days, thinking 50 days to come, because campaigns are going to be intense. We expect candidates, regardless of where they belong, to to conduct rallies and campaigns freely without intimidation. That's what we want, so that people can choose. If President Church has delivered on the promises that he made to the Zambian people, then there's no need for him to cause violence. People are going to choose him. But if it's not, people are going to remove him from power. So that's the message.
Excellent. So before I hand over to Muhambi again, what program does the Tonse Alliance have to voter education program? Apart from what ECZ is doing, what program does the Alliance have in place a voter? This is very important to come from the political parties as well, not just the Electoral Commission of Zambia. What plans does Tonse Alliance, or what programs does Tonse Alliance have in place to educate its voters?
Indeed. So it is the duty of each one of us, especially that are into the campaigns for both president as well as our candidates at different levels. Okay, so we have a Department of Elections, and we are training our leaders in different levels to actually, sensitize the voters. As they are interacting with them during door-to-door campaigns, they also teach them how to vote. They say, okay, this is how you vote. You cross here, stuff like that. What they expect when they go to the polling station, all such things. We are quite doing a lot because we want to leave everything or anything to stake. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much again, Pastor. Mr. President, I have another question. We talked about it before in the previous question segment. We talked about, you'd mentioned that there's been polarization. This morning at the memorial service in Chawama, there were Kadas who were disrupting the process. How can students contribute to national unity during what is often a very polarized election period?
Thank you very much. That's a very good question. When you look at students themselves, there's unity among the students. Because I, for one, I remember, in my room, we were four, all of us from different backgrounds. This one was coming from Eastern, this one Southern, this one Western, and there was nothing like you look at your friend to say, oh, where do you come from? No. We just look at, oh, this is a brother, this is my colleague, this is my fellow student, and that's what we expect also out there to happen. Don't want to, people to have that conscience to ask where is this person coming from. No, we are all Zambians. That's why the first president, Kenneth Kaunda, I have so much respect for that man, because it wasn't easy to bring 73 tribes under one banner. That one Zambia, one nation is just more. It's more than a slogan. It's more than a motto. It speaks to who we are as Zambians. Look at your brother. This is my brother. He's Zambian. And if you begin to think like that, there will be no issues of pointing fingers at anyone. And I think that now that's a mentality that we should go on forward. And any leader that try to bring that confusion, we should reject them with the big margin of votes. You just don't give them any vote.
Thank you. My second question before I pass it back to Pastor. is that critics will argue that many political parties are happy to have energetic youth engagement during campaigns. Obviously, you serve as a very influential youth voice in one of the political parties, but are less willing to give young people influence over major decisions. So, what will change if the Tonse Alliance is elected in August? What will change regarding youth leadership engagement? You're someone who has engaged civically and politically. Is there, I don't want to ask if you have any commitments, but in your position, in the people you've talked to, how are you, advocating for youth at the table outside of just partisan politics?
So look at the Tonse Alliance and President Brian Mundubire and Honorable Makedi Zulu. Is a special kind of arrangement. This has never happened before because when you look at most of these political setups, political formations, you never find young people at the highest decision-making table. You never find them, right? They only invite young people when they want to do something. Then come here, so that young people are there to show them support. But that is not the case with Tonse PF Pamos Alliance. So I, for one, myself, I'm sitting at the table of Council of Leaders for Tonse PF Pamos Alliance. And that is the highest decision-making body in the Tonse PF Pamos Alliance. 24 years old, being there. Speaking, on issues that are affecting us, representing 4 million youth. It is a privilege, and this speaks that President Mundube is not just saying that bring the women and young people to the center of decision making, policy reforms, and the economic transformation for political agenda. No. He means it. And see, today, speaking as a national youth and student spokesperson for Tonse PF Pamos Alliance, look at other political formations. I've never seen a young people 24 years old, like me, myself, at a position like this one that they have entrusted me. Definitely not. You find that people that are running those departments for youths are people that are beyond the youth age limit. So that can tell you to say President Mundubire, is someone that is actually different. Is bringing a different leadership in our country, and this is somebody that we need to give support as young people.
Joseph, let me get very personal with you. Why Tonse Alliance? Why not Zambia Must Prosper? Why not Socialist Party? Why not UPND? Why Tonse Alliance for you? Why Tonse Alliance? I'm anxious to know. Give me a reason why you are going Tonse Alliance. And by the way, how did it happen? They reached out to you. They sent people to talk to you. Did they write an email? How did the process happen for you to find yourself here?
All right. So when look at me, I'm a leader of Next Zambia Great Movement organization. Yes. So I've been running that organization. It's a civic movement.
For how long? For everybody listening, like we said, we were supposed to have Joseph here in January, and the civic organization that he runs, Make Zambia Great, right? What's the name again?
Make Zambia Great Movement.
Make Zambia Great Movement, and is coming from that position, and we just want people to understand that. Yeah. So continue.
Yes. So with my organization, we actually look at how do we make our country great, looking at everything that we have, So we've been engaging leaders on different matters, having dialogue with them, and I've interacted with the UPND for quite some time.
Excellent.
We've been in existence for 3 years now. Yes. And I could wear from the time that I've worked with the UPND. Then I looked at, their type of leadership, right? Their engagement with the young people, right? So I received an invitation to join Tons Alliance. That was last year in December.
Okay.
Something that we need to consider like joining at that particular time, because I think we are busy with our programs and organization, and we didn't want them to be disturbed because of political engagement. As you may be aware that the political environment in Zambia is not quite good, especially if you are not aligned to the government. So we wanted to finish the projects that we had in our first quarter. Then from there we can look into different intricacies. So when we finished I think first quarter, we sat with my executive, then we looked at different comparisons. The Tons Alliance sent us their manifesto. We looked at it, what they stand for. Then also, we've been working with the UPND, so we know them. So we discovered to say, I think we are more resonating with Tons Alliance, looking at one agenda. Nakulutinta nemisepera pamakasa. Did you hear that?
Okay. Say that again.
Nakulumutinta nemisepera pamakasa. So this resonated very well with us, because we
explain to people watching. Not everybody is very conversant with Bemba. Mulelande, that Bemba you are speaking, I've heard Mr. Mundubire speak Bemba. Is from Mporokoso.
Yeah.
Avena Mporokoso valalande Chibemba chide. What do they say Mwambi Chibemba Nkong? Joseph, not everybody is going to understand. Some of us speak Copper Belt Bemba.
That's deep. Northern province.
Yeah. So explain to everybody watching what you are saying means. What does that mean?
So, Nakulumutinta Nemspera Pamakasa is a Bemba phrase. That simply means Nakulu Mutinta, that's a woman.
Okay. Okay.
Misepela, it's a youth.
Yes.
Yes. Then Pamakasa, you are walking on foot like that.
Yeah.
So when you look at this agenda, it talks about it's addressing the issues that we are facing in the country today, whereby the women and the young people, they are considered as standby. They only bring them on board. Yes, they only bring them on board when they want them to do something that actually benefits them, right? But now, looking at this agenda for President Banimund, we're saying that us, we're not just going to consider you as, as standby. Is it standby? Is that correct? Yes. You're not going to look at you as passive participants. Instead, we're going to bring you to the center. We're going to move you from the margin, bring you to the center, at the center of policy and economic transformation. So now, when you look at the policy and economic transformation, this is now, if you remember, there has been a lot of people, even African scholars, that say that Africa is not that it's suffering because it doesn't have resources. We have everything at our disposal, but the only thing we lack is the leadership. But now, when they say that it's leadership, what do they mean leadership? So leadership, we're talking about people that have the best interests, people that have the heart to serve, right? So this Namkutinta is speaking to that, saying that when we come into power as Tons Alliance, us, the women and the young people, we know that for the young people, they're very vibrant, they're very ambitious, they're very innovative. The young women are the ones that are moving the economy in the markets. In the morning, they are moving up and down. So we're saying that us, we are going to bring those at the center, give them necessary tools so that they can drive our economy.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why when you go down there now, you find that, so now what are these economic transformation are they talking about?
Yeah.
You find that they're talking about now industrialization, right? And this
Okay.
is what Zambia has been lacking. Yes, this is what Zambia has been lacking. If you look at the current government, they export copper ore. So now copper ore, like you sell it, and then somebody else they go and process it. You know, when you mine copper ore, there are a lot of byproducts.
Yes.
To that copper, there is iron, there is cobalt and whatnot. So when you just sell that, mean that you are selling a lot of minerals, and you're getting employments to the outsiders at the expense of your own people. You know, you sell it at a low price, then also you export what jobs. But now, President Mwendu is saying that that copper is going to be processed here. We are going to tell these investors to say, okay, we are going to bring in smelters so that as they are mining, this copper is processed here. So now we're going to have value addition, value chains within the mining sector, and that is going to absorb a lot of jobs. And within just maybe 2 years, 2 to 3 years, you might even have 500 youths being absorbed into workforce, because there's job market already waiting for them. Currently, as it stands, it's even very difficult for students. The same students that are saying, so sad, it's very difficult for them to actually even secure internship. That's how bad things are in Zambia. And you are saying that is because we lack leadership. If we have proper leadership, like the leadership of President Brani Mundu, they were saying that we are going to look into all these things that brings our people at the center. Every policy that we do should put our people first, and that's what I'm looking for. You know, make Zambia great. We can't make Zambia great when you isolate our people, right? There is an African leader who said that when you hear a foreigner praising me, just know that I've betrayed you. We have heard international investors, when you go abroad there, they say Zambia things are happening. They have beautiful policies and whatnot. But are Zambians saying the same? Are the youth saying the same thing? Are people in Chingwa saying the same thing? Now you now remember what that African leader meant. So we need leaders that actually puts people's interest first. And therefore, he's related very well with President Munduwele, and he's agreed to say, okay, this is something that I should support, looking at my agenda and looking at his vision for this country.
Joseph, you have articulated very well why the question I asked was why Tonse Alliance. We all know that in the past few decades, a lot of higher learning institutions have emerged. We have a lot of now. It's not just UNZA and the CBU. We have a lot of private university, high quality education. What is the Tonse Alliances? I know you've addressed the issue of unemployment. What is the Tonse Alliance program or project to assimilate graduates into the work in the industry in Zambia? There are a lot of graduates who do not have jobs. You have a lot of people who have got diplomas, degrees, and what is Tonse Alliance's program to assimilate the graduates into the workforce?
All right. So, like I said, so looking at Tonse Alliance, Tonse Alliance is coming in to, you know, we are saying that our journey is to embark on economic transformation. You know, we have to reduce poverty, we have to reduce unemployment. So all these things, for us to achieve all these things, you know, they're supposed to be interventions that we have to embark on. So when you look at our Tonse manifesto, first thing first, once the president is sworn into office, in the first 1 month, is going to bring Ministry of Youths and the State House, right? Because to him, he's saying that we have a national emergency, which is unemployment among the young people, unemployment among the graduates. So he's saying this had to be addressed very quickly. So that can only be addressed quickly if the institution is under direct supervision of the president, the head of state. So that also makes us different from the UPND government. You see, the UPND government, what they did was, they brought STC and these other departments under State House with a view to fight corruption. But you all have seen how they have handled corruption cases. But President Mundure is saying that SEC has to be independent, so that any government official that will be found wanting will be dealt with by SEC. So that SEC will be removed from State House so that it becomes an independent body. Then it will be replaced by Minister of Youths. Then, when you look at this Minister of Youths, I remember I mentioned that we are going to embark on robust intervention into industrialization.
Yes.
So that we are talking about in mining, tourism sector. We're talking about in digital economy. We're talking about agriculture. So all these ministries are going to set up industries and hubs, right? So like there's what we are calling Regional Development Authority under President Brian Munduwire's government, right? Okay. So when you look at the RDA, which is the Regional Development Authority, these regions, for instance, when you look at Copper Belt and the Northwestern, they have something of similar advantage, which is mining activities within those areas.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Meaning that the industrialization that will happen there will be like a value chain into the mining sector. All right. So, what will happen to the graduates is that those students that are graduating from School of Mines, engineers, they'll be direct absorbed, because when you talk about value chain, we're talking about having different departments. We're talking about departments of marketing, department of procurement, department of engineering. So I mean that students from different faculties, they're going to find employment already waiting for them. Right? That is just in the mining sector. Then talk about also in agriculture. We have students that are doing agriculture. For instance, there is Rockview, there is NRDC here. So these students also, as they are being trained, because when you look at some of the interventions also for Transformers Alliance, are two. One, building youth-owned enterprises, and then also young people, making young people employable through structured skills, apprenticeship, as well as the work experience pathways. So now, when you look at these two, one, we are creating enterprises, like young people who are going to become employers, all right? So somebody might get a skill and they don't want to get employed. So what we do as government, under the desk that is at State House for Ministry of Youths, we're going to have what we are calling Youth Enterprise and the Employment Desk. That will be at State House. So now this will look into the issue of empowerment. It will be linked with CEC. So, for instance, somebody was studying maybe poultry, or maybe let's say fisheries. Yes, and then they have a skill. They have they have land. But now they don't have capacity, they don't have capital for them to invest into that particular business. They would come to us through that established office with documents to say, okay, me, I have land, I have ABCD, I'm able to do this, and these things can be sold to this place. And then if they provide just proper documents, then the government, through there's another system that we're going to create, that we are calling Commodity Credit Guarantee Scheme. So now this scheme will be there to help these young people to get loans, all right, to finance their businesses. Because remember, a lot of young people now, they're able to access financial assistance, financial assistance, I should say, because lenders are scared to say these people are going to default. But as government, when these young people come to say, no, I've learned, I'm able to sell these things somewhere, but I'm lacking capacity, and they present all these documents, then as government, we are going to intervene and provide necessary assistance to these young people so that as they begin to sell
their products or
their
merchandise. Yeah.
their products and stuff like that, yes, they'll begin to prosper and paying back that money. And if you have a lot of young people doing that, we're talking about economic emancipation. We're also now looking at also those that are into into academics, into research. We are going to set up industry in each farm so that we can now start having our own people, our own research, because there's no development that can happen minus research. So we as government, that is going to be a deliberate move that are going to set up to encourage students, to get into serious research, and that is will be motivated also through universities, because as we may be aware, in America there are actually institutions that are actually making money through just research. So even here in Zambia, that is what we want to do. So you see, all these advantages are coming to the young people. Then, in terms of employment, we've talked about all these industrial yards that are going to be revamped. Those that were closed a long time ago, because activities are going to start happening, these will be opened up for young people. So it's going to be a busy country. Young people, once again, money is going to come back into their pockets, and all of us will celebrate. So it's just a matter of time. Whatever that you're going through, it's just a matter of time. Come 13th August, then night will be here with us, and we'll celebrate one.
Let me ask one more. We're about to wind up here. Before Mojave let me ask one question. Let's go back to the electoral process. I am one person. I don't know where does the Tonse Alliance position on the electoral process. What I mean by electoral process is we have this situation, Joseph, where Bapela 90 days registration period, Shanyuko. What is Tonse Alliance's position on the electoral process? Because I personally believe when a person gets the NRC, they need to register as a voter. It should be an ongoing process. Ngayapwa my elections 13th August 2026. Going forward, why don't Wapoka Reg register as a voter? Why should we have 90 days of registration of voter? I don't know. What is my simple question is, you can tell on this Savaila, I'm speaking too much. What is Tonse Alliance's position on the electoral process? I should have simply said that and kept quiet. Right, Mohammed? What's the Tonse Alliance's position on the electoral process?
All right. So first and foremost, we must also acknowledge that there is always there's VRC, something like that. There's continuous voter registration that happens.
Yes.
But
yes.
what happens in provincial centers. All right. So I think going forward, for us as Tonse, that will be also be trickled down into districts, so that people can be registering, so that we're not having that we're not having too much queues when the period is near. By then we would have had a lot of people registered. But now, looking at what currently happens, that also denies some people because the period is too small for people to actually register. Yeah,
exactly.
So
exactly.
So for us, we are saying once these elections are done, I think those are some of things that we are going to look into, so that people will be able to get from near where they stay. Like district, you need to have an office there for instance that are doing continuous voter registration. Yes.
Okay.
My final two questions, and again, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on as we begin to wind up. Is that Pastor asked? I saw this on here. I think your Facebook page. You said Takuliyama campaign rallies. Is there an opposition? Critics have argued that Zambia's opposition has struggled to provide a strong and consistent alternative to the government. Um, do you agree with that assertion? And if not, why should young people, consider the Tonse Alliance when you have, UPND that's, saying, hey, we'll give you opportunities, we'll give you jobs. Why should young people go to the alternative when, there's already a tried and tested government that's already there?
Mm.
All right. Those that are saying that there are no rallies, they are lying, right? Because I think you're able to see. Yes, you're able to see what is happening in the Copper Belt. That is what is happening in different parts of the country, Western Province, in Eastern. We are putting up huge numbers, and they are scared. They are scared. So it's just propaganda. They forget about those people. So for the young people, we as Stones Alliance, we are here to provide alternative government. You have seen, you have experienced the UPND type of leadership. This is what they can offer. There's nothing that they can tell you to say, no, we are coming to do what. This is what they can do. Because if these people are ready to govern this country, they would have delivered. And you would have seen. Yeah. But you have seen what you have gone through. A lot of you lost jobs because of the shedding. A lot of businesses, those that are into bakery, they made a lot of losses. Those that are into butchery, they lost a lot of money. Look at unemployment rates in this country. Bali is on record saying that when you see me shout Bali, employment money, what did they do? They brought you in separate app. All right. What else did they do? They brought database. So these are things that you need to see to say, okay, do these people really care about us? Because if they do, they have seen that they have introduced industries to create employment. Because they can't be saying that we have employed the 8,000 teachers. Every government has been employing teachers. Every government has been employing health workers. So it is a responsibility for government to employ, and it shouldn't be like a make for them to even be bragging to say, no, I've employed 6,000. No, employment is created in the private sector. And this government has demonstrated that they have no capacity to create employment in the private sector. Look at the economy. Look at the high cost of living. These are things that they said we are going to reduce the cost of living. Now see where we are. So what excuse are they going to give you? As we have told you to say, we are coming in to create new jobs, new opportunities that works for all, not just a selected few, but for all Zambians. As long as you are a youth, you don't need to come with a particular surname for you to get an opportunity. No. As long as you are a youth, you are a Zambian, you'll be entitled. We are coming in to provide opportunities for content creators. Know that as soon as you vote this government into office, as soon as you vote in President Bani Mumbiwe and Vice President Makeb Bizulu, know that social media platforms will be monetized. This is our commitment. To our mothers out there, we have heard your cries. You move long distances for you to access health services. We understand the pain of going to a clinic. Then they tell you to say, go and buy medicine. When government has purchased medicine that is decaying in containers, they don't care about you. Give us that appointment. You are our bosses. Give us that mandate to work for you. Us, we are not a government that will be telling you to say, we have done this. No. We want what we do to speak for themselves. A leader that says, I've done this, I've done that, means they haven't done anything. So we as Stones Alliance, we are here for the youths, we are here for the poor Zambians, those that feel forgotten. We are your hope. And we are saying that time has come for us to rise up and breathe new hope into our country. Look at our children. They are lying to you that when PF Tonse Pamo's Alliance comes into office, they're going to remove free education. We are saying no, those are complete lies, complete false. In fact, what we are going to do is when we come into office, free education will continue, and then we're going to improve it because currently our children are not getting quality education. How do you expect a child who is in a class like for about 150 to get proper education? Even these same teachers, they're taking their children in private institutions. So as we are saying that we are coming to bring quality education to our pupils that will be tailored to the economic transformation that we are going to embark on. To our students, don't be lied to. They're lying to you that when you vote towards a PF Commons Alliance, they're going to scrap off meal allowance. We are saying those are lies. Actually, we have heard your cry that the meal allowance that you get too small, doesn't match the economic reality that you're experiencing. As Tons Alliance, we are making a commitment that when you vote for us into office, we are going to increase your meal allowance, we are going to increase your book allowance. And not only that, we are going to look into the issues of accommodation. This has been an issue for most universities across this country. And it is our commitment that once you vote for us into office, only in the first term, we are going to sort out the issue of accommodation challenges that we are facing. And
Okay.
to the youths in the Copper Belt, they promise that they're going to give you those mines, but they came to beat you, they chased you. We are saying we're coming to give you back those mines, and they're coming to formalize you so that you take part into driving our economy and also contribute to job creation. That's our message to the young people. May God bless you and may God bless our public. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, everybody. That was our show for today. Our guest was James Kambele, is the National Youth and Student Spokesperson for the Tonse Pamozi Alliance. He's also the founder and president of, say that again, Make Zambia
Great Movement.
All right, good stuff. It is your Joseph, like I said, don't let anybody intimidate you. It's your democratic right to choose a political party of your choice for affiliation. And as we need to change the narrative of Zambian politics. We need to change that. Thank you for taking the time. I look forward to you being a minister of something.
Yes. President Kambele Joseph.
President. I'm serious. I'm very serious.
Future president.
All right, Joseph. All right, Mohambi. Well, that was our show for today. And in a few words, 2-3 sentences, what is your impression? I mean, we are teasing. We look forward to him being minister.
Yeah, I think he's great. He's on his way up, and I think to have someone as young as he is in such a position of influence is great. And I think if they win, I think that's someone that they should utilize.
They should utilize. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, he knows his stuff. You know, I like people who speak. And by the way, most of the time, what happens is when we have guests on this show, we do share the questions in advance, right? But for him, we didn't. You can tell that he understands. One thing that has stood out to me is he said they approached him in December last year, right? And he's only taken up the position now, and accepted to be part of the political process. To me, it reflects that he's a stable person. He processes things. He didn't just jump onto the occasion when he was offered the job. He had to think through because of the work that he's been doing with civic education and other things. All right, everybody, that was our show. Next week, we'll be talking leadership. A dear friend of mine has written like 12 or 15 books about leadership. 12 or 15 books. This guy is something else. And I need to say this. I should have said this last Saturday, but I forgot. Please don't send money to me. I'm not asking for money. My WhatsApp is been hacked. I haven't still got it back. I apologize for the inconvenience. Don't send money. It's not me. If I need to ask for money from you, I'll call you. I'm not going to send you a text message, okay? All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. We shall see you next weekend. We'll be talking leadership.
Zambia Blog Talk Radio.